Okay, welcome back, dear friends. Today I'd like to showcase how to penetrate this Shenron on the Vulnhub, and I'd like to add the link into the description section below so that you can download it. Before we begin today's video, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. This will help me very much. So without further ado, let's just get started. To save time, I have already imported the virtual machine or the target into the virtual box. So now we can go inside the Kali Linux VM. As you can see, I have already identified the IP address of the target as 254 by the tool like NetDiscover or other similar tools. And the next, I'd like to use the Nmap to do the information gathering or reconnaissance. So I use the option like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and the last of all is the option of -p-, which allow it to do the comprehensive scan. So from the Nmap scanning results, we can know that the virtual machine has two open ports. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service, and also the actual version information. As we know, this version doesn't have any vulnerability. Of course, we can use like such exploit tool or utility or other like a search engine to make research to know whether this software or application has vulnerability. Anyway, this one in this case doesn't have any vulnerability. And the next one is 80, which is running HTTP service and also the actual version information. Yeah, before we move forward, I'd like to point out that if you follow along my series on the like Vulnhub or Try Hack Me or like the Hack the Box, what I'm doing is to showcase the whole process or the standard methodology to do such penetration. So okay, let's move forward. Now we need to do some enumeration for the 80 port. Let's open our browser and let's put the IP address of the target into the browser. And this is the just default Apache 2 page, and nothing special here. And also we can check the source code of this page. Yeah, a lot of HTML code, and also like the CSS code. Yeah, so nothing interesting here. And also we need to check whether the site or the target has robots file, but not found. Next, we need to use some tools to do furthermore enumeration. The first one I'd like to use is Licto. The Licto can identify like vulnerabilities in some case, and also some common directories or files like this one, test. We can check on that test. Yeah, which is saying inside this directory there is file, and we can click the link. Lots of information are here. You are very clear. So if you are not very careful, you will miss very important information here, because we need to check the source code of this page. As you can see, there are comments or the best credentials, admin, and I think this must be password. But at this point or so far, we don't know how to use these credentials or where to use such credentials yet. Anyway, we need to keep this information into our minds as we move forward. Now we go back to our terminal I think now we need to use the GoBuster. You know, the GoBuster is very powerful too when we do the directory enumeration. Yeah, test, we have already know that. But beside the test directory, the GoBuster also identifies the directory of Joomla. As you know, the Joomla is some sort of the CMS. We can make a copy and go to the browser and paste in here. And we'll wait for this to be loaded. And of course, we can log in here. But as we know, if you're familiar with the Joomla CMS, the Joomla, the default administrator portal is administrator. So now we here, I think this a place where we can supply our credentials, what we have already got earlier. And the username is admin. And the password, I think in this comment, we can make a copy of this password. And now we can log in. Don't save. Yeah, we have already logged in as administrator. And, you know, for the Joomla, very similar to the WordPress. But the process or technique would be a bit different. And for the Joomla, the next objective for us would be to upload reverse shell PHP code, right? And the way or the location we need to look for is the templates. We can go scroll down, templates sections. Let's click and the templates and go to the busy3. And now we can click indexed. We can remove the original code. And we can use our reverse. I think we can interrupt the process of the directory enumeration. And we can copy the reverse PHP file. But before we can use it, we need to do some modification. To be actual, we need to modify the IP address of the attacking machine or Kali Linux. And the port number would be 555. Okay? And write and quit. We can cut this file and we can make a copy of entire code of this PHP, reverse PHP. And we can paste inside window and then let's save. Okay, no problem. File saved, no error. So I think now we need to know the location of this index.php. But before we do that, we can set up the listener first. And now, if I think we can go to the Joomla, and we can check the source code. I think this must be under the templates, and we can make a copy, right? But the templates is not a protostar, should be busy3. And we can make a copy of this path. And now we can open up another tab. And the templates would be this one, BZZ3. We do not need to type it in. We just make a copy, which is easiest way and will not make a mistake. And the name is index.php. Hit enter. It looks like it's working because we got the reverse shell from the target, and we can check the version of Python. Python 2 is not there, and also we need to check the Python 3. Python 3, yeah, and we can use the pty module. Okay, and we need to do some enumeration, but of course now we are just www data, and we need to make lateral movement next. And before we do that, we need to do some local enumeration. For example, we need to go to the var directory, because always inside such directory we can find some credentials. We can go to the HTML directory and go to the Joomla, and we can cut the configuration file. Maybe has some username and password information. For example, here we can got the username and password. We can make a copy, right? We can make a note of this information onto our notebook, and the username is Jenny. If we go back to navigate to the home directory, we can know that Jenny is also the local user, local system user. And then we can try to, maybe in some case, the password will be reused. So we can take advantage of this vulnerability or misconfiguration, Jenny. And we can copy the password. And here. And as you can see, we have already become the root user, Jenny. And what we can do, and of course we can check the sudo. Sudo L. Yeah, we can use this command, copy, but we cannot directly make privilege escalation from this user Jenny to root. But we can make more or furthermore lateral movement to another user, Shenron. But how to utilize the copy command? Maybe we can copy the public key to the home directory of this user. But firstly, we need to upload our public key, the Kali Linux public key, to the temp directory. We can navigate to temp directory, and we can open up another tab, and we can copy my public key to the current directory, and then we can use the Python to set up web server. Next, we can use the wget command to upload the private key. Oh, sorry, not private key, is public key rather, or instead id pub. Yeah, no problem. But we need to, this case, the public key is not working, cannot be working. We need to copy this public key to the home directory of a user, Shenron. Of course, now we cannot make a copy of that because we do not have a permission. For example, we can copy and id pub to home and Shenron. I'm not sure I pronounce it correctly. SSH. And we can rename to authorized keys, but permission denied. So we can, because we can run the sudo, but we need to specify the username Shenron, and the user being copy, and the file would be public key, and the destination would be Shenron, and the SSH directory, and we need to rename to authorized keys. I think it's correct. Now we can press enter. Now we can, maybe I can cancel this web server and use the SSH to log in to the target. As you can see, we have already logged in as user Shenron, and we can get the local flag or user flag. And then we need to check the sudo, but we didn't get the password for this user. right? And we can, maybe we can run. So what we can do, maybe we need to temp directory, and we can open up another tab. We can copy the linpeas shell script. You know, the linpeas shell script is so useful when we do the local privilege escalation. Linpeas. And we need to make it executable, and then we can run this shell script to see whether we can find out some misconfigurations or some local vulnerabilities which we can utilize to elevate our privilege. Sorry about the notifications. Okay, let's scroll up to see which kind of information we can get from the linpeas. Yeah, this is the password, the public. But I think we do not. Oh yeah, here. The interesting writable files owned by me or writable by everyone. As you can see here, has password file. We can make a copy, right? And then we can cut this content. Yeah, I think here this file contains the password for this user. So this time, yeah, sorry about it again. But anyway, I need to go on our video. Okay, sudo. This time we can supply the password of this user. Yeah, as you can see, we can run the apt command to elevate our privilege without password of root user. But how to use it? We can go to the GTF obins, and we can put the apt command and go to the sudo section. We can run this command to elevate our privilege. As you can see from the banner, we have already become the root user. Then we can cut the root flag here. Root. Okay, so that's all I'd like to go through for this machine, which is Shenron 1. And sorry again about my notifications. Maybe will disturb during your video watching. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.